End of the game.
If Tucson is hot, Bryan Goebel is even hotter. Stay tuned as Bryan tries for back-to-back championships here in Tucson, Arizona. ESPN and the Professional Bowlers Association present the championship round finals of the Tucson Open.
Friday night, and the PBA is coming to you live from Golden Pin Lanes for the championship round finals of the Tucson Open. Here are your 5 finalists. In the number 5 position is a 2-time Tournament of Champions winner after his first win since 1988, Mark Williams. His opponent in match 1 is an 11-year tour veteran seeking his first title, Don Moser. Match 2 features the winner of last year's PBA National Championship, Scott Alexander. In the semifinal match is a former Rookie of the Year trying for his second title, Ricky Ward. And our tournament leaders trying for back-to-back wins in this event and an unprecedented third win in Tucson, Bryan Goebel. There is your outstanding field, and now to Mike and Earl.
Thank you, Dave. We're in the West, and we've got 5 hired guns on the telecast tonight, beginning with the top gun, the player in the number 1 position, trying for the hat trick here at Golden Pin Lanes and back-to-back titles.
Hired guns. That brings up Wyatt Earp, people like that. Well, Bryan Goebel's been outstanding here. There's no question about it. In fact, he even said to Pete Thomas, the manager here, if he wins again, he's going to change it from Golden Pin Lanes to Goebel Lanes. So it's possible it could happen. Who knows? He is tough to beat here.
Well, in that number 2 position, we have a former PBA Rookie of the Year, kid that lost out in the last game last night, Ricky Ward.
He did, and if he had let it, it might have been an opportunity for Bryan Goebel to beat 3 lefties in a row here, but it didn't happen. Ricky Ward, as you mentioned, the 1991 PBA Rookie of the Year, is an outstanding talent on the left side. Just a young man. He's looking for another win, and this could be his night. He's really bowling well.
The player I really like, he looked good to me in practice, the current PBA National Championship champion, Scott Alexander.
And a great talent out of the Northwest. I've seen Scott as he kind of grew up in the lanes up there in the Seattle-Tacoma area. And as you mentioned, Mike, he's a great talent. He could be the guy to beat tonight, but he's got to get by that opening match. And those guys in that opening match are tough players.
Speaking of that opening match, we have an interesting pair-up right here.
Well, Don Moser in the number 4 position. This guy here has never won a tournament, but when you look at it, the talent-wise, he's a consistent casher. He's always in the money. He's always getting that check. Just can't seem to get it done. He thinks tonight could be his night, but he's got to get by one of the best players on the PBA Tour who hasn't won since 1988, Mark Williams, a 2-time Tournament of Champions winner. This guy can really play the game, and if he starts stringing strikes, he might not ever stop. He's one of those kind of bowlers that can throw 8 or 9 in a row at you at any given time. All the other players know this. He's a very experienced player, so anything can happen. We're ready for the first match. The players completed their warm-ups. Here we go.
Mark Williams on the left, Don Moser on the right. We're using lanes 15 and 16 here at Golden Pin Lanes. It's the pair that's been used throughout the 22-year history for the championship match. Moser opening up on 15. Very smooth delivery. And he's off with a quick start. He was really striking a lot in practice. Mark Williams, former Tournament of Champions winner, has won that tournament twice, in fact. On lane 16. Light, everything goes but the 8-pin. Making his way up from down below where he talked about the opening match. My partner here, Earl Anthony.
Nothing exciting happened while I was gone, did it?
Well, Moser got a strike.
That's exciting. All right, we're on our way here.
At the 8-pin. Ooh! That was exciting.
We're going to take a look at the style of one of the more successful bowlers in PBA history, Mark Williams, who has a very unique style as far as putting the ball on his wrist when he starts his backswing. Look at the long slide and the tremendous rotation around the side of the ball and the great balance at the foul line. That's the keys to good success. If you're going to be a great player, you have to have that good balance at the foul line.
That seems true in all sports, doesn't it?
No question.
Well, a good break. Breaks down the dinner bucket for only the 2-pin.
Watching the bowlers warm up, they were throwing nothing but strikes. Now all of a sudden the ball reaction changes when the lights come on, huh?
Changes balls to go straighter at the spare. No turn. And no trouble with the 2-pin. Don Moser, 11-year veteran of the tour. He's currently 36 years of age. He's got 2 regional titles, but he has never won a PBA National Championship. Quick double.
We'll take a look at the style here very quickly of Don Moser. You can see he has kind of a basic style, but look how he kind of hunches over to start the approach. He doesn't use much of his leg strength to get the ball down the lane. It's all upper body, but he spots right at the foul line. See how his head is kind of down? He's looking down right at the foul line. Now his head comes up, but he never looks past the foul line. That's very unusual for a professional bowler to spot right at the foul line.
Ooh, half a loaf right there.
Half a loaf. Where'd you come up with that one?
Oh, somewhere.
Well, he got half the pins. That's half a loaf, I guess. All right, everything on the left. They're all in a bunch. Shouldn't be that difficult for him to shoot in the bucket with a man in motion here. He'll play it off the strike line.
Difficult spare. And an open frame. And that's been the story of Moser and his TV appearances. He makes that mistake somewhere or doesn't take advantage of the opportunities. Seems to struggle in those situations.
Well, that's a tough spare for anybody. He gave that one just a little bit more in the oil, I think, Mike. It never came back for him. Here, Mark Williams, again, he gets up very quickly, doesn't waste any time getting the ball off his hand.
And the soft 10-pin on the right lane. Mark, a tour veteran, 38 years of age, used to be the chairman of the PBA's tournament committee, one of the governing bodies on the PBA Tour. Now he's just a member of that committee, not the chairman. Has the 10-pin. Resides in Beaumont, Texas. Has 6 titles, 2 of which are Tournament of Champions victories at Riviera Lanes.
He needs one more to catch you, though, Mike. 3 times. You're the only guy that's won it 3 times, as far as I know.
Well, they moved it, though. I mean, I wouldn't have won any if they'd moved it, hadn't moved it.
All right. Well, Mark Williams still clean, still trying to get something going here. As I mentioned, once he can start striking, he might strike forever. He needs to get a better entry angle. The ball late coming back to the pocket. It's too far down the lane before it enters the pocket area. And he was practicing earlier with 2 different bowling balls and trying to figure out which one he wanted to use. One that was a black color, it hooked dramatically more than the one he's using now. He decided to go with the one that goes the straightest, but he can't seem to get it back to the pocket.
Mark Williams converts the 10-pin. He leads by 4 pins right now. Don Moser will be back in the 4th frame when we come back. Stay tuned for these messages.
To reach $70 billion in sales like FedEx, you have to deliver what you promise. To reach $1 trillion in real estate transactions like the Century 21 system, you have to deliver like no one else. And when you're this big, the #1 real estate company, you can do things others can't. Like average a home bought or sold by our customers every minute, every day. The Century 21 system can deliver the home of your dreams, maybe this minute, so don't waste a second. Call #1, Century 21.
My favorite actors are the strong, silent types. Mine are larger than life. They should be graceful. And they gotta look good in public, too.
Now at Burger King, Pocahontas Finger Puppets from the Disney hit movie. Now for a limited time on video. Your kids can collect all 6, one with every great-tasting $1.99 Kids Club hamburger meal.
And they have to be sophisticated.
The $1.99 Kids Club hamburger meal, only at Burger King.
The Tucson Open is being brought to you by Century 21, the #1 real estate sales organization. When you're this big, you can do things others can't. Don Moser up on lane 16, trailing by 4 pins. Actually in pretty good shape considering that open frame.
Yeah, only because Mark Williams can't seem to carry the 10-pin. There's the 4.
Good break right there. See if he can take advantage of it, get himself a little loose here as Williams is struggling to get strikes.
Well, if he can get by Mark Williams, it'll be a tremendous boost to his confidence. But Mark Williams, again, such an experienced player, so much talent. It's not likely he's going to go along continuing to just shoot 9 spare, 9 spare. Something's going to change, and Don Moser knows that. He needs to get some strikes early to counteract that.
Well, nice recovery right there.
Very good. Just that one errant shot, and it's cost him a chance to really have a big lead at this point.
Right now, Mark Williams in the 5th frame, trailing by 6 pins. There he is. There he is. Talk to Mark Williams about why he's bowling so much better. Why are you bowling so much better?
I think the reason my game turned around starting in '95 is Brunswick hired Fred Borden to come out on tour and work with our staff members. He recognized my release had gotten a little bit weaker. The bowling balls today are stronger than ever. I've got my hand release back real strong. I'm overpowering the lanes quite a few weeks. It seems to be working out real good for me.
Seems confident.
Oh, he's definitely a confident player, and he knows his game extremely well. Got a very big break there. The crossover, well, the double to take the lead. There's another look at that last shot. This ball, he just goes, he's trying to go more direct, get a better entry angle. It worked for him on the right-hand lane, lane 16. Here the ball just hooked earlier across the head pin.
See if that affects Don Moser's shot.
Well, it'd be hard to tell with Don Moser. He's a very consistent player, tries to keep the ball. That ball just overhit there. That didn't even look like it was that high in the head pin for a moment, and then it just cut right through the heart, the 4-6. And
Moser with 2 mistakes and going to be staring at open frames both times.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when that happens to you. Sometimes it happens. When you make mistakes, you pay the full price. Other times you make mistakes, such as Mark Williams made on lane 15, and you get the crossover strike.
Yep, big difference right there. So Moser goes from opportunity to be leading in this match if he'd have struck on lane 16 to trailing right now by 28 pins. And it's something to work on right there in the 7th frame right now.
Well, he's 5 for 5 on pocket shots. He's made 2 mistakes.
Don Moser trailing in this match by 28. Mark Williams will be up when we come back. Stay tuned.
Sure running parts, motor running parts, fuel pumping, road bumping, brake stopping parts. Western Auto's no stranger to these parts.
Western Auto now has parts for nearly every car on the road today. Serious parts at serious savings. Hey, we know what you want.
Road hugging parts, load lugging parts, good timing, head turning, track burning parts. Western Auto's no stranger to these parts.
Hi, I'm Bill Berge, back with Bruce and Bubbles from Wink 104. And we want you to leap at the chance to save on over 850 new and used cars and trucks at Frederick's Supermarket of Cars.
Check out the new Geo Tracker 4x4. It's priced at a low $12,861 or just $221 a month after Frederick's deep discount.
And save on a 96 Chevy Cavalier or S10 pickup. Get your best deal on hundreds of Chevys, Geos, and Toyotas.
So leap into spring with a great deal today at Frederick's, your Supermarket of Cars.
Supermarket of Cars.
Mark Williams up in the 7th frame, leading by only 18. We had him up 28. We're still learning how to keep score here, and we figured it out.
Well, you know.
Mark Williams makes 3 in a row. Now he takes a 28 pin. See, we were just anticipating that, right, Earl?
There you go.
He heads to the 8th frame, leading by 28. But he's been struggling on this left lane. Got a crossover last time. That's the backbone of that turkey.
Well, you know he's going to give it more room. Mark Williams, he'll throw it harder, he'll give it more room, and he'll turn it harder. So
overpower the lane like
he
was talking
exactly
about.
What he'll do. He'll throw it harder, turn it harder. There it is. A lot more speed, a lot more back end. And with confidence there.
And a 38 pin lead, and puts Don Moser as he enters the 8th frame in a situation where he must strike.
Look at the effort into the release point there. You can see him really lift up hard on the ball and rotate around it. That's what he means by overpowering the lane.
Well, Moser keeps himself alive. Cuts it back to 28. If he strikes here in the 9th, it would only be 18.
Moser's showing he's got some courage there. He's coming back. He's not giving up. As I mentioned, he has yet to not strike when he's been in the pocket. He's thrown 3 doubles, but he's had, unfortunately, the open in the 3rd, the open in the 6th, on the 2 mistakes he has made.
Ninth frame action. Moser trailing.
Well, it's the first time he has, you might say, gotten tapped. That ball, he gave it a little more room, got it farther down the lane. Again, when it's behind the head pin and doesn't come back very solid and hard, it's not going to strike, and that was a weak 10.
Cross lane at the 10 pin. If he converts behind by 29, his first spare of the game comes in the 9th frame.
Really hasn't bowled that poorly. You look at his score, it doesn't reflect how well he's played. As I mentioned, he's hit the pocket 7 out of the 9 shots. The 2 errors were very costly. Mark Williams, as you see on the graphic, his 36th career television appearance. A very experienced player, very talented player, and this should be a great match when he bowls Scott Alexander.
Well, leaves the 4 pin, but at this point in the match, it doesn't upset him. Cross lane at the 4 pin. Switching to this other colored ball. What color is that, Earl?
It's kind of a lemon yellow to me, Mike. I'm not sure.
Well, whatever it is, it knocked over the 4 pin with no trouble. He needs 7 pins to be a victor. I think he can handle that.
Well, you never know. I've seen Mark do some strange things, but I'm pretty sure you're right, Mike. I think he'll get 7 pins.
That looks like 10 to me.
Right.
It looks like 10 right there. Mark Williams seems to have figured it out, which is bad news for Scott Alexander as he comes on. All the experience being with Williams.
That's right. We talked about Scott Alexander, the defending or the current PBA national champion, which is a major tournament on the PBA Tour, but it's the only television appearance he's made on the national tour. But he's 1 for 1.
Mark Williams doubling in the 10th frame. If he strikes on the field ball, he'll finish with 236. Coasting to victory in our opening match.
Definitely got the crowd behind him. He's got somebody back here that's really in.
Yes, they are. Every time they yell, I get a headache. Mark Williams with 235. Don Moser just finishing it out. Another disappointing performance. Well, the solid 10. The head pin came back and got it.
Just bowling for respectability now, Mike. Everybody wants to bowl 200 on television. He needs a double to get that. He'll give it his best effort.
What's interesting here is 2, 4, 6. He could wind up with 9 strikes and bowl 208 and lose by almost 30 pins. Well, Mark Williams only got 6 strikes.
But he got him in a bunch. That's the key. That's the difference in no opens.
That is the difference, isn't it? 8 strikes he already has in this match. 8 out of 11. Going for 9 for 12, and he's going to lose by almost 30 pins.
You know, watching the bowlers in match play throughout the evening last night, and it was kind of interesting because a lot of them bowled exactly the way Moser is. They would throw a lot of strikes, but they'd also get a couple of opens. The lane condition was very touchy.
Don Moser finishes with 208. So our winner in the opening match, Mark Williams, 235 to 208. Stay tuned for our average builders. We're entering the computer age right after this.
Time for a new cobalt blue bench-style front seat cover for your 78 Mercury Zephyr? Try to find that puppy at your everyday auto parts store. Welcome to Pep Boys, one of the biggest parts stores ever, with thousands more parts and accessories for more cars. More seat covers, floor mats, additives, and things smaller stores just can't fit. And, of course, more name brand parts with lifetime warranties and a low price guarantee. Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
Hey, 2 Cadbury bunnies, 2 Cadbury eggs, classic cream, and new creamy caramel. No bunny knows Easter better than Cadbury's.
is famous for inspiring a lot of great works, as well as no work at all.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy, don't you think?
Original and cooling blue.
By Menon.
When some ref starts blowing his whistle like he was Benny Goodman, you can't blame a cat for getting kooky. The boss from Indiana wears a sweater on his back. He will grab a chair and part your hair if you give him any flack. Hey, Indiana, that team is one class act. Hey, those V-necks are gorgeous. Do they come in Angora?
For our average builder tonight, I thought I'd like to do something a little bit different here. Joining me is Craig Walton of Bethesda Softworks. They're the creators of a great new computer game called PBA Bowling for Windows 95. Craig, welcome to ESPN. Explain to me, what is PBA Bowling for Windows?
PBA Bowling is a product made for the PC that runs under Windows 95.
Well, why did you want to put bowling on a computer?
All of the other sports have their simulators on the PC, and we wanted to give bowlers a chance to do the same thing.
Well, if bowlers want to do this, what kind of computer do they need to have?
They need to have an IBM PC with Windows 95 and a CD-ROM drive.
It sounds like fun, but can you explain to me how it works and what some of the features are?
Sure. Let's first show an actual bowler trying to pick up a spare. We line the bowler up and we target, and we're going to throw the ball with power and spin. The first bar is power, then spin. And she picks it up.
Oh, it's spun in there, huh? Okay, so you can control that. Can men play this too?
Yep. You have 8 different characters, 4 women, 4 men, and here's a man. This guy is right-handed. We just bowled left-handed. So, and there's also computer bowlers, so you can bowl against the computer.
You keep score for you automatically too?
Yes, automatically keeps scoring. There were digitized animations. You can practice spares. There's league options. A lot of things that you can do. But it's also very easy to learn.
So somebody that's computer illiterate like me, I don't have any trouble learning how to do this?
Right, you don't. I mean, you basically just line them up and knock them down.
Okay, suppose I want to do this with my family or in a group setting. Is that possible, or do I have to do it alone?
It's quite possible. You can have 2 teams with 4 players each, and you can play series games or an individual game.
Okay, well, what do you see as the future for PBA Bowling for Windows?
We're considering moving it over to the Sega platform and the Nintendo platform, and we're also trying to hook it up so that we can play tournaments online through the internet or American Online or something like that.
Bowling on the internet. Well, all those people, the bowlers out there that you think are the market, if they want this, how do they get it?
It's available at computer stores right now, and we're also trying to put it into bowling centers across the country so that you can just go down to your local lanes and pick it up.
Well, Craig, thanks so much for joining us and explaining bowling coming into the computer age. Sounds like you've got a great winner. Well, bowling truly is entering the 21st century. But we're going to be joining you in a 2-week break. We'll be in the Greater Albany Senior Open. That'll be March the 15th, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. ESPN will be there. And, of course, I'll be there with another Average Builder. Opening match. Mark Williams defeated Don Moser 235 to 208. He has the right now to take on Scott Alexander after this.
Don't roll with the punches. Throw them.
It's not whether you win or lose. It's whether you win.
11 strikes down. 10 pins up. 1 ball to go.
I just learned some new information about pain relievers.
Tylenol recently added this warning to their labels. If you generally consume 3 or more alcohol-containing drinks per day, you should consult your physician for advice on when and how you should take Tylenol and other pain relievers. While for the vast majority, Tylenol is safe, if you regularly consume 3 or more drinks per day, taking certain doses of Tylenol over several days may, in some cases, affect your liver. Before taking any analgesic, ask your doctor if Advil may be a safer choice.
This is a nice soapy head of hair, and this is a nice soapy head of hair. At Ramada, you can get your hair clean. At Holiday Inn, you can get your hair clean. You can shampoo here, or you can shampoo here. But a shower here will be a better value for your dollar than the shower you'll take here. Maybe that's why last year, 23 million people chose Ramada over Holiday Inn. All things being equal, we're better. So call 1-800-2-RAMADA.
Mark Williams on our right for the opening shot in match number 2 on lane 15. And we're informed by a representative from the PBA that in that 10th frame he was experimenting a little bit, switch balls, and has changed balls now. Maybe he wants to go back.
Well, as so often happens, after a brief commercial break and the players, especially after the bowler wins a match, he comes back to start another match and he's kind of relaxed, throws it a little slower, goes through the middle of the head pin.
And cross lane at the 3-6-10, no trouble, as he continues to fill frames and not make major mistakes. Our first look at Scott Alexander from Seattle, Washington. He's 6'1", 210, 29 years old. Oh, first shot, 6-7-10. Seems like every time somebody makes a mistake against Mark Williams, they pay the full price.
Well, here's another look at that shot, and he definitely paid the full price. You're right, Mike. This ball just never did get out anywhere near the area he's been playing throughout the week. He wants to get that ball at least another 4 or 5 boards to the right and farther down the lane, at least 3 or 4 feet. Good spare shooter here. Watch the ball speed. Watch the ball speed on this shot. He tries to slide it over.
And gets the 2, 9 out, open frame.
Here's another look at the style of Scott Alexander. Very classic style. Watch the long heel-to-toe steps. Good balance at the foul line again. You see the head and shoulders right over the knee here. Watch him come up, though. At the point of release here, he goes through the ball and then starts up. If you start up, you're going to cut the ball off a little bit.
When he goes down like that, you don't recommend
no
change in elevation like that. I didn't notice that so much until I saw it on the replay.
Yeah, he's always bowled like that, and he's always been successful with that style, but it's hard to repeat.
And
there's Cindy.
His wife, Cindy, well, she looks very nervous there.
Well, she doesn't have much experience with this either. You have to remember, this is only her second show, too.
Right. Mark Williams, second frame. And his first possible open frame as he goes high and leaves the 4-6-7.
Here's another look at that shot. And Mark is he's trying to go more direct with the ball. In other words, not hook it quite as much. It's just not working for him. His strength is opening up the lane. He's got to go back to that.
Coming up next is ESPN Championship Boxing, a 12-round WBO Junior Middleweight Championship fight right after bowling. Features Bronco McGart, 27-1 against Santos Cardona, 30-6. I'll tell you what, I don't know that I like the reaction to this bowling ball. He may have liked it in the 10th frame, but he was nice and loose and relaxed there.
Yeah, he definitely was rolling the ball very loose and relaxed in the 10th because that match was over. This one, he's got some pressure. He knows that Scott Alexander is a very talented player, can give him all he wants. He's just not getting that ball down the lane. Mark Williams, again, very experienced. He will make some changes.
Now, Scott Alexander didn't have his opponent jump out and get way ahead. He still leads in this match by 4 pins. We're entering the 3rd frame. Bottom half of the 3rd. High again, Earl. 3-6-10.
Well, see, what's happened here is the way the lane condition is, this is synthetic lanes, Brunswick synthetic surface, and the oil is down 35 feet. It's heavy in the middle from the 15 board on the left to 15 board on the right. Then there's a dry area on the right for 5 boards, and then an out of bounds, actually for almost 8 boards, then an out of bounds from like 6 board out to the channel. The players are trying to get into that oil in the middle of the lane, get the ball 50 feet down the lane before it hooks like that. See how he's way into the oil, then it hooks on the back end? That's what he's looking for. But he's not getting as much skid as he feels he should be getting.
He was in practice.
He was in practice, but the lanes will change. There is a transition. Remember, we had 5 guys out there throwing a lot of bowling balls for 45 minutes to an hour before we went on the air.
You don't think he's just nervous?
I think he's nervous. I think any athlete in competition is going to be nervous to a degree, but I don't think it's going to affect his game. He's a good player. Very good player. He's got good physical abilities, very strong physically, knows his game very well, and there's an over-adjustment. You know, the left lane is different than the right lane. The ball just never made the turn back.
Well, breaks out the 210, leaving only the 2 and the 4.
Here's another look at it. Look how deep he is. The ball is going right between the 2nd and 3rd arrow on the left side of the lane, and then going out to about the 8 or 10 board on the right side, and it just couldn't get it back, not from that deep. Too much oil in the middle there. He needs to go into that oil, but then go more directly to the pocket and not get it so wide.
At the 2-4.
Right there. That's where he wants to be. That part of the lane right there.
Has the spare, leads by only 2 pins. Mark Williams searching for his first strike in this second match in the 4th frame. In the 4th frame, Mark Williams finds his first strike, as we have several vocal fans back here giving it almost you demand type thing.
Well, they definitely are pulling for Mark Williams here. He's the favorite. The crowd favorite, I should say.
Well, at least of a couple of guys, huh?
Yeah, a couple of guys. They're very vocal, no question about it.
If we name this Goebel lanes, we may have it. Or Goebel pin lanes, yeah, right. Trying for a double. And the old PBA split, the 2-8-10. Hits that oil. That left lane must be a little bit tighter. What do you think, Earl?
There's no question that the left lane is tighter, and you can see the ball reaction of Mark Williams' ball. He gets it out a little bit too far. Remember I mentioned there's an out of bounds. If you get it outside that 6 or 7 board, that's where he got it. That out of bounds is oil, and the ball just won't come back.
Ooh, and it almost bounced up there, but Mark Williams has his second open in 5 frames, giving Scott Alexander a 14-pin lead as both players are wading through the mud here, struggling.
Not the kind of match we expected from these two guys. I actually thought this would be the highest scoring match of the finals. If I felt that Williams would get past Moser, and when he got to Alexander, this could be a 250, 240 type situation. There he's deep into the lane there and still couldn't hold it back. Looks like he's getting a little soft with the ball speed the deeper he gets. It's sometimes when you're way deep, it's hard to get the ball speed you need because your body won't open up enough. And you can see he doesn't understand what's going on, and if he doesn't, nobody else does, that's for sure.
Cross lane at the 4-7. If conversion will keep him in the lead by about 12 pins.
He's looking at the spare,
and not even close. Another open frame.
Don't understand that one.
This Sunday, March the 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time from the United Center in Chicago, it's NHL on ESPN as the Detroit Red Wings invade the Chicago Blackhawks. The Red Wings are on track to capture their 2nd consecutive President's Trophy.
Here's a spare shot that I just find hard to believe from a good player like this. He's in that oil that I mentioned in the middle of the lane. Nothing's going to hook in that oil. There's a puddle out there. Nobody's going to hook it in that area of the lane. And why would he shoot the spare in that way? Why not go cross lane like you're supposed to do and cover the spare? It doesn't make sense.
Well, it's half a match long right now, and they're both even with 73 in the 5th frame. So we're all even halfway through this second match. Earl Anthony and I will be back for the completion of match number 2. Right after this, stay tuned.
There is
There's a magic within them. A legendary quality. They are men of miracles. Fly with them in this extraordinary new video. NBA Legacy, lending legends to rising stars. You also get the officially licensed NBA team sweatshirt of your choice. Both the authentic sweatshirt and the video are free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. NBA Legacy traces a line of superstars as greatness is passed from one generation to the next. You also get a great-looking heavyweight sweatshirt featuring the colorful logo of your favorite NBA team. No matter which team it is, it's free when you order 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. Call now and get NBA Legacy plus the team sweatshirt of your choice, both free from Sports Illustrated. It's a sports experience like no other. Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
If one under's a birdie, maybe one over should be a turkey. 2 over a buzzard. 3 over a dodo, because you're dead. 4 over an ostrich, because you just want to hide your head in the sand.
6th frame. Mark Williams all even in this match on lane 16.
Oh, my. Best shot of the match for Mark Williams, the solid 8. That's just what they call the PBA solid tap right there. That solid 8-pin. That's just so disheartening, especially when your opponent's on a strike. You figure it's time to make a turnaround. You made a great shot, and you get a bad result.
At the single pin spare. And has it. So we enter the 7th frame. Still all even. The only difference is Scott Alexander leads, or doesn't lead, but has a strike to work on. Right now, nobody's been able to put 2 strikes together. Mark Williams only been able to get 1 strike in 6 frames. Well, there's his 2nd strike. He has several bowling balls there on the rack. 2 of them at least are the same color, so it's impossible for us to tell without some inside mole information whether he's changing balls. Well, we found from our mole that he switched back.
Our mole?
Our mole, yes. We have a mole.
Oh, well, I would prefer to call him the PBA's observer down there.
Okay. Scott Alexander has not gotten the ball to the right side of the head pin on lane 16 yet.
You know, right next to that observer that we're talking about, or the mole as you called him, is their PBA National Tournament Director, Johnny Campos. He and his wife Janine just celebrated their 5th anniversary on the 27th of February, and Johnny misses her. Wishes he could have been there. There's a look at Johnny Campos on the left. And the mole.
Dave Schroeder is our inside information person from the PBA. Congratulations to Janine and Johnny. So we head to the 8th frame right now, still all even, and the advantage shifts to Mark Williams as he has the strike to work on, plus the experience.
Experience is a key factor, no question. You know, getting back very quickly to Dave sitting down there, there's a look at Mark Williams. I call him the red-headed wolfman there. Anyway, getting back to Dave down there, he does so much for us for these telecasts, giving us so much information to work with, and statistic-wise, things of that nature. We just couldn't do it without him.
Oh, this time the 10-pin doesn't fall. So the 2-4-10 is there as we see Dave Schroeder keeping score along with John Campos. John, by the way, is the official scorekeeper down there. It's his score that counts.
He just learned to keep score last week, I understand.
Well, he went through the CD-ROM thing to see that we
I see. Okay. Just joking, John. If you're listening, I'm just joking. All right, tough spare. Try to slide that 2-pin across into the 10. Got to hurry. Never get there.
Wow, he just totally lost on these lanes. And no apparent hope that he's going to figure it out either.
Well, it's a shame because the bowlers competed all week on a lane surface that's and with an oil pattern that is exactly what's out there right now. It's just that sometimes with the amount of play that they get with the practice session and everything else they're doing, they just can't seem to ever get the right ball reaction. You see Mark Williams getting a double and taking command of this match.
Well, you would expect a veteran like he is to take command someplace in the match, which he just did, leading now by 24 pins as we head to the 9th frame. This ball reacts much better, though, it seems like to me, Earl.
Well, he's very fortunate that he has the opportunity to go back and forth with the bowling ball because no one's pressed him. No one's really pushed him.
Well, now we find out from our inside information people that Mark is using one ball on the right lane and another ball on the left lane, as we've seen many players do. And as we bring you this inside information, ESPN brings you all of the scores, as we always do, at 10:30 and 50 past the hour. And, well, the pressure's off now. We know that this is not the result we wanted, but it doesn't happen. 240s don't happen every time when you're on television.
That's right, and you're referring to his win in the PBA National Championship last year. 246 is what he bowled in that game. And this will bring his average down to about 200 when you average that game and this one out.
Well, right now, he needs to make this to keep that. And makes a difficult spare. Dinner bucket to 2-4-5-8. If he strikes it out, he finishes with 169, trailing in this match by 34 pins, as we see Mark Williams working on 3 in a row, heading for the 10th frame. Boy, just light, high, kind of like my golf swing, you know, right, left. I mean, it just...
We don't want to hear about your golf game.
Well, no one does.
All right.
I don't want to hear about it.
I'd like to see him pick this up just so he'll feel better and get another chance to throw a strike to end this game. You always want to end on a good note. 2-8. He'll hook it into this off that strike line again.
Well, similar to the shot he just played on 16. No trouble with it. So a disappointed young man with a strike finish will finish with 157. Mark Williams will move on now and face his first left-handed player in the top 5.
Now, there's a little different angle and no better result.
And a wave at the pins by Scott Alexander. Mark trying to find which one he wants to use over here. He's got it in his hand. Trying for 4 in a row. And the old pocket 7-10. So Mark Williams is going to win this match even with 3 open frames. Well, we struggled through this, but we'll show you some of the other finishers in this event when we come back after this.
Leap at a chance to save at Fredericks. Take advantage of huge discounts, factory rebates, and a first-time buyer's incentive to save thousands of dollars on over 850 new and used cars and trucks.
Drive a 96 Chevy S10 pickup for just $179 a month, or a Geo Metro Coupe for just $139 a month.
Leap into a 95 Chevy high-top conversion van for just $23,669. But hurry, these savings won't last much longer. So stop by Frederick, your supermarket of cars.
Supermarket of cars. Oh, beautiful, the spacious sky.
Buick LeSabre, the #1 selling full-size automobile in America 4 years running. Right now, Buick is offering $1,000 cash to help you own a classic. It's your South Central Pennsylvania Buick dealers Thank You America LeSabre sale. Once-in-a-lifetime savings with our thanks.
Other people made money in this tournament. Let's take a look at them. 6th place, his first cash of the year, Chris Warren, and a solid player, David Traber.
Steve Wilson right behind him. Him and his wife Sherry just bought a new motorhome. And Ken McNeely, one of many young players finding success each week.
Well, we missed Steve Hoskins there in 9th place. Ryan Schaefer used to be PBA Rookie of the Year back in 1987. He's bowling well again.
Paul Kohler slowly becoming a match play regular, and John Hanegard showing the youngsters he still has what it takes.
Kelly Bennett, strong finish in his first year as a touring player. Jeff Hickenbottom. Hey, that's 2 weeks in a row for Jeff.
And Jeff Morin struggled down the stretch in match play, but he had a good tournament anyway. One of the left-handers to make it, Richard Wolf. His first title should come soon for this young rising star.
In 18th position, Billy Orlikowski, native of Grand Rapids, Michigan, starting to hit his stride. And a winner this year, Wayne Webb. Hall of Famer, only went 6-18 in match play.
Had a tough day. Steve Jaros, the 2-time title, still looking for #3, and Rick Berry Left-hander just missed the top 20 finish.
Mark Lopez, a local entry gave Tucson people here someone to cheer for, and Curtis Owenham, a player that is steady and has been for a number of years.
And Mike Miller bringing up the rear. He took over when Bob Bespy withdrew because of injury. And the alternate, Ed Richardson, Texas becoming a regular casher on the tour. Now let's go down to Mike Durbin and, of course, Pete Thomas for a quick word.
Joining me this week is the general manager of Golden Pin Lanes, a PBA champion and an ABC Hall of Famer, Pete Tontes. Pete, bowling and Tucson just seem to go hand in hand.
Of course, Michael. This is our 35th tournament in Tucson, the 22nd here at Golden Pin Lanes, and we're looking forward to continue this tournament for another 22 years and maybe more. I love the bowling. I like to give something back to the bowling game because it has given me a lot, and I like to return it and like to host the Pro Bowlers Tour here again. And I'd like to take it one more step further. In about another 3-4 years, I'd like to see the bowlers shooting for $500,000 tournament purses and $100,000 first place. And I think we can all stick together like the proprietors. We can do it.
Well, it sounds good. I'm sure the players would like that, too. Mark Williams struggled through that match, but he won it. Now he'll face his first left-hander, Ricky Ward. We'll be with that match after this.
Can France and Italy, Austria and England, Germany, Spain and the Netherlands ever really agree on a single currency? Actually, they already have. Gold MasterCard, one remarkably useful card.
Excuse me, guys.
Accepted virtually anywhere on Earth. Gold MasterCard. It's smart money.
This year's Olympics are in Atlanta, but the games will be everywhere. The Bud World Party. A great time to share a Bud with friends, no matter where you are. Budweiser, proud sponsor of the '96 Summer Games.
Ring up over $700 billion in sales like AT&T and people talk. Reach $1 trillion in real estate transactions like the Century 21 system, and they must be talking to us. Because when you're this big, the #1 real estate company, you can do things others can't. Like average a home bought or sold by our customers every minute, every day. The Century 21 system can sell your home fast, maybe this minute. So don't waste a second. Call #1, Century 21.
Just in, WKTL Weather Watch reports a possibility of snow today.
Next time, check the Weather Channel for early warnings on weather conditions 24 hours a day. The Weather Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
It's total court coverage that hits all the highlights with up-to-the-hoop news and complete analysis of every game. It's Coast to Coast NBA. It's NBA Tonight, Tuesday through Saturday at midnight, only on ESPN2.
Mark Williams may have just gotten the break he was looking for as he struggled through that match and won 179 to 155 over Scott Alexander. He hasn't won since 1988 when he won the Tournament of Champions in Akron, Ohio. If he wins this match, he's in the title match.
Wow. It's very interesting what's going on out there. You can see the look of disbelief on Mark's face. He can't believe the ball hooked that much on that lane. That's the lane that was the tightest. It's one, in other words, it's had the most oil and the least amount of hooking action for the players up to this point. And all of a sudden the ball just took off. Here's a chance for him to line up. He almost picked up his spare ball to shoot the spare. Instead, he's going to try this ball, another ball that he can use to strike with, and see if he can find a way to get the ball in the pocket area. Look out.
Oh, that was almost an experiment that he wished he hadn't done. Of course, he was practicing on the 510.
Right, yeah, right. Sure he was. Here's another look at that shot. What a great angle this is. The pin camera down there. He fist. That's why they put paint on him, Mike, right there.
Well, I thought the breeze got it myself. But
all right, here he is. first look at Ricky Ward.
Looked pretty good, too.
Looks real good. Ricky, as we mentioned, was leading the tournament last night going into the last game. And here's a look at his style. This great free arm swing, four-step approach. Very high in the backswing, generates a lot of ball speed. It's very strong from the waist up. And he uses that upper body strength to bring the ball through and create the rotation he needs to get the ball back to the pocket with all that ball speed.
Good balance there at the line, too. Trying for a quick double. Leaves the 3-pin.
Well, with the way the right-handers are struggling, even Mark Williams is struggling, and he's won 2 matches, but the last one he bowled 179 to win. This could be an opportunity for the left-hander maybe to win this tournament if the right side has gotten to the point where it's tough to play. So let's see what happens here. If Ricky Ward can make a couple of good shots, he might pull it out.
If the right side?
Well, you know, I've got to look at the lanes are going through a transition. That's the way I look at it. The oil's moving around. The players are trying to find where it's going, what the adjustment should be. If they find it, the oil settles down a little bit. The talent these guys have, they can throw a lot of strikes in. Here, Mark Williams is completely confused. He has no idea what's going on out there.
Just like Scott Alexander had no idea in the last game.
Here again, Mark Williams playing between the 3rd and 4th arrow. Ball gets out almost to the 5 board.
What you say, there's oil out there.
And that's the out-of-bounds area. Has no chance to get that back. It seems like the middle of the lane is hooking more than they would expect. The outside of the lane has more oil than they would expect. And that creates a situation where you just can't get the ball in the pocket area.
And the pin light just went off on lane 16. That's a dark lane down there. We've got a...
Well, we had a pin down, and so he's resetting that pin on the spot there. The mechanic right on the ball.
The 1, 2, 4, 8.
Wants to cross this ball on the left side of the head pin. Let the ball go right on down the line.
Perfect. So, Mark Williams filling the frames, but his brain's working at 1,000 miles an hour to figure out, how do I play these lanes?
Well, it's kind of an interesting situation here. You can't get much deeper on the lane surface. In other words, you can't go much more left because he just runs out of approach. Maybe throwing the ball over the left-hand channel if he gets much farther left. So he's trying to find a way to get the ball, force it down the lane, but he just can't get it to get down there all the way on the left-hand lane now.
Well, maybe he just stays with that Brooklyn there.
Well, that's not a very reliable shot, is it, Mike?
Does he change hand positions and try and go straighter?
I think he has to go get deeper somehow and create more ball speed. Last night he was standing in front of the ball return on the right-hand lane and playing quite well. Let's see what kind of ball reaction Ricky Ward gets. He's playing right around the 3rd arrow on the left side.
Nice reaction there.
All right. I got to believe he's excited. He said, all right there. He's ready.
As we heard him say, all right, we inform you that Ricky is wearing a microphone, so we can sneak in here and listen to what he says to himself. Like a fighter there. He was Rocky there.
There you go. I mentioned last night Ricky was leading the tournament going into the last round, the position round. He bowled Bryan Goebel for the tournament lead. Bryan Goebel beat him 255 to 213, and that's why Ricky is second today. Bryan Goebel, the tournament leader, just seems to beat up those left-handers.
And it's NC2A Basketball Championship Week. We have the noon on Saturday. It's a Transamerica Athlete Conference Championship, followed by the Big South Conference Championship at 2 o'clock and 11 p.m. Then, if you haven't had enough, you get more. It's 3:30 Tulane versus Memphis. Again, the Ohio Valley Conference Championship at 7:30, followed by Utah versus BYU at 9:30. A basketball junkie day. And a Brooklyn day for Mark Williams.
Well, this has to be kind of disheartening for Ricky, who's out there trying very hard to make good shots. Mark Williams completely confused, but still getting 3 in a row. Brooklyn on the left lane, strike on the right, back for the Brooklyn on the left. Ricky Ward, to me, looks like he's the guy that's going to be hard to beat. He's got a good shot to the pocket. He's making good shots, and he's bowling with confidence.
Has to hurry. Leaves the 3-pin. So he falls behind in the match.
One of the few guys, that didn't get a strike that got a spare he can make for a change, bowling against Mark Williams.
At the 3-pin. No trouble, has it. Last night he lost in the championship match. We talked to him and he recovered and he was ready for tonight.
Well, my answer is going to be I'm looking for something positive out of this. I believe there's a reason for everything, and if I get past this first match, I think I'll be lined up, and Bryan's got to come off of practicing and bowling one game on the pair, and it might be the edge I need to win.
Nice reaction there as he snaps the 7-pin right out. Ricky Ward looking tough. Halfway through our semifinal match. Mark Williams leads by 7, but it's a shaky 7. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
I just learned some new information about pain relievers. Tylenol recently added this warning to their labels. If you generally consume 3 or more alcohol-containing drinks per day, you should consult your physician for advice on when and how you should take Tylenol and other pain relievers. While for the vast majority, Tylenol is safe, if you regularly consume 3 or more drinks per day, taking certain doses of Tylenol over several days may, in some cases, affect your liver. Before taking any analgesic, ask your doctor if Advil may be a safer choice.
Every week, Barron scours the investment world for growth opportunities with comprehensive coverage of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, everything that could affect your finances. Subscribe with your credit card now and get 17 weeks of Barron's for the price of 13. That's 4 more opportunities to turn money into wealth. Get 17 weeks of Barron's for only $37. That's 4 weeks free. Call now toll-free in the continental U.S. 800-228-5400. That's 800-228-5400.
We're running behind, and Mark Williams went ahead and bowled on the right lane, and he's got that lane figured out. Flush in the 1-3 pocket for a 4-bagger to give him right now a 17-pin lead. It's the left lane. 2 Brooklyn strikes in a row. I told you earlier he was going to stay with that Brooklyn.
Well, I knowing Mark Williams, I know he's trying to get the ball into that pocket area. He's going to make some kind of an adjustment here. He's deeper. Oh! Well, the Brooklyn shot was better. It carried anyway.
Yeah, right.
Solid 10 on a great shot.
Boy, you talked about going over the channel. He almost did that on that shot.
Yeah, he's laying the ball down almost on the edge of the lane there. The 10-pin has been kind of tough for the players. They got to be careful. Again, the synthetic surface and trying to slide over there sometimes it gets a little slippery.
No trouble for Mark Williams, though. Right now, 16 pins is the difference. Ricky Ward trails. Really needs to get a strike here to put some pressure back on Williams.
Well, he has an opportunity in his trip to the lanes to take a lead, however briefly it might be, but with 2 strikes, he can take the lead in this match. Just sawed him in half with that one, didn't he? A lot of power there.
It's now 6 pins. 3 frames to go. Ward heading to the left lane in the 8th frame. Strike, he'll take the lead. Seems very calm and relaxed and confident.
Well, he's doing a little meditation there before he gets up on the approach. I like his game. He's very strong, as I mentioned, physically. A 4-step approach, great arm swing.
Oh, can't throw it any better than that.
And he likes it. He's down about 3 lanes, running it out.
Ricky Ward takes a 4-pin lead as we look at the replay of his strike.
Brings it back from clear out around the 5 board, and here's Ricky. He's pumped, he's ready, he wants to win very badly. If he get by Mark Williams, it just might happen.
It's a 1-pin lead as Williams heads up on the 8th frame, leaves the 6-10. Mark's struggling, but still managing to fill frames and get strikes in key situations, even no matter what way he gets them.
He's going through so many different adjustments, hand-wise, rotation-wise, speed-wise, ball-wise. He's getting confused, I think. I actually feel Mark Williams is bowling with some confusion right now. He doesn't know exactly what to expect. And every time you switch bowling balls, you get a different reaction. You're starting all over with different checkpoints. And eventually, you get to a point where you just run out of clear thought. You can't get up there and make a shot with confidence because you're trying to see what the ball expect what it's going to do. You're not sure what it's going to do.
And there we have Don Allen, the proprietor here, sitting next to Pete Thomas that we talked to earlier, trying for foundation strike. Gets it. Off balance, but got the strike.
Really tried to create some ball speed with that one. Forced it down the lane, got the ball reaction. Here's a look at watch where he slides. In the left-hand channel almost, and he falls off to the right because he's forcing the ball down the lane.
Ricky Ward has used his allotted re-racks and asked for one here and did not get it. Ninth frame, leads by 3.
Oh, he rolled it well.
See, that was the right rack.
Well, he got what he wanted. When you consider good shots, shot for shot, Ricky Ward has bowled extremely well in this game. Mark Williams has had a couple of very key breaks with the 2 Brooklyn strikes on the left-hand lane here, lane 15 at Golden Pin Lanes. And Ricky Ward is going to be the man to beat if he can catch 2 in the 10th here. He'll be the winner.
Big shot, first ball in the 10th. Leading by 13. Responded.
All right, good count will do it, but Mark Williams knows, believe me, sitting on the bench, Mark Williams knows exactly what the score is. So does Ricky Ward. He's looking up at the telescore to check it out. But 9 count here.
8 and a spare, and he moves on to the title match. 9, and it's automatic.
Look out.
Oh, he got the break, leaves only the 4-pin. But that's going to be enough right there. Even if he misses this, he's going to be at least 247 with a miss. At the 4-pin, has it for 248. The best Mark Williams can get is 246.
So it's going to be a rematch in the position round last night. Remember I mentioned Bryan Goebel, Ricky Ward bowled for first place for today's telecast.
Mark Williams can finish this out for 246, his highest game of the evening, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to finish 3rd and take home $5,000. And the years of going without a victory are continuing. With all the breaks he was getting tonight, the way everybody was struggling, thought maybe tonight would be his night, but it turned out not to be the case. Ricky Ward waiting for Bryan Goebel in a rematch of the position round last night. Cross lane at the 10-pin. Mark Williams has it, finishes with 235. So Ricky Ward has won. We'll be back with Championship Frame, a review of our 3 previous matches. Right after these messages, stay tuned.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think?
Original and cooling blue.
By Menon.
Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 all-season 45,000-mile tires for just $139. Any size, any 4 45,000-mile tires in stock for just $139. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
My favorite actors are the strong, silent types. Mine are larger than life. They should be graceful. And they gotta look good in public, too.
Now at Burger King, Pocahontas Finger Puppets from the Disney hit movie, now for a limited time on video. Your kids can collect all 6, one with every great-tasting $1.99 Kids Club hamburger meal.
And they have to be sophisticated.
The $1.99 Kids Club hamburger meal, only at Burger King.
Presenting the most effective home exercise system available. Used by more professional trainers for in-home fitness than any other machine. This is Bowflex. Professional trainers rely on Bowflex because it uses a combination of both strength and aerobic exercise to help you burn fat, tone muscle, and completely reshape your body. Call right now for your free video and brochure and find out how you can get the fitness results you want in 6 weeks or your money back. The idea behind Bowflex is simple. Exercise to add muscle, not just to sweat. Because the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn. Keep your workouts quick and easy. 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week is all you need. And do it all in the convenience of your own home, with plenty of room to spare. Call us right now and get your free video and brochure and see what 6 weeks with Bowflex can do for you. Bowflex. Call us for fitness.
Now it's time for Championship Frame, where we look at our 3 previous games. In our opening match, Mark Williams struggled, but he's in the 10th frame here, Earl.
Well, and needing a strike, needing 7 pins to win the match. And, of course, if you were watching, you realize he got the strike, and that was the end of that match. And he put it to Don Moser, and Don Moser, again, can't seem to be competitive in the championship round.
There we see that Mark Williams defeated Moser 235 to 208 in our opening match, setting up a real struggle in our next match as he took on Scott Alexander. He's in the 9th frame here.
Well, and this is the one that really put the match away. Locked it up. Scott Alexander struggled all the way through. Never did find a way to get the ball in the pocket. A strike in the 9th here for 3 in a row for Mark Williams, and that was the end of that one.
There's the score. Ugly as it was, it moved him on 179 to 155. But Ricky Ward put an end to all of that. He's in the 10th frame.
Well, he's on a string of strikes. A strike in the 10th here would put him in a position where he only needs good count to win the match. And he got it. Ricky Ward bowling extremely well, and he's pumped and ready for the championship match.
There's the score, 248 to 232. Ward defeated Williams, setting up our championship match of Ward versus Goebel. We'll see how that comes out right after this.
For the star-studded Dallas Cowboys, it was a super show. The thrilling climax to an amazing season. Share the glory in this exclusive Cowboys Super Pack, the incredible new Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl Champions video, plus this collector's dream, a special leather-bound Sports Illustrated commemorative edition, both free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Call this number now and jump on with the silver and blue as they take you along through a season of wild twists and turns on their sensational ride to Super Bowl 30. It's a one-of-a-kind video featuring the one and only Dallas Cowboys. It's Troy and Emmett.
Oh, man, that's good stuff.
It's the Moose and Jay. The undeniable flash of prime time and the Playmaker. Don't miss this Super Cowboys tribute, free from Sports Illustrated.
Throws downfield.
Call now and get your exclusive championship package, including the Sports Illustrated Super Special Commemorative. Each collector's edition is leather-bound, gold embossed, and individually numbered. This colorful memento magnificently captures the Cowboys in a championship style you'll treasure forever. Both collector's items are free when you order 54 issues of Sports Illustrated, including the famous swimsuit issue, for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. Don't miss this exclusive, unbeatable Super Pack. Call now to get the Super Cowboys video and the special leather-bound collector's commemorative edition, both free from Sports Illustrated. Every week, enjoy a sports experience like no other. Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Bryan Goebel is throwing his last practice ball using 6 steps. Trying to figure out what no other right-hander has been able to figure out so far tonight is how to put these 2 lanes together, not just one of them or for a couple of frames. Facing a player, Ricky Ward, who seems dialed in on both lanes.
He does, and this is a chance for revenge for Ricky Ward after last night. But not only that, Bryan Goebel has really put it to the lefties here in Tucson. He beat Joe Salvemini in 1990 to win the championship here. Last year, he beat Bob Belmont, another left-hander, for the title. Here he's got a chance to beat Ricky Ward to win back-to-back in Tucson.
Ricky Ward off with an impressive start.
Watching Bryan Goebel in practice, he didn't seem like he was that lined up, Mike, so...
No, he didn't, but other players that did are gone. He's still here.
Oh my, that's a great shot there. That's a good ball reaction. He's not getting the back end the other players were getting. He's going into an end-over-end roll. And here's a look at the style of Bryan Goebel. Watch how slow and deliberate the first 2 steps there, and now the 3rd step to get him started with the ball, and the last 3 is where he does all the work. 1, 2, and the long slide. Stays down with the shot, really uses some muscle on the release, and here's that replay of that shot, and that's the strike.
Trying for the quick double. Oh, and gets it right there. So an impressive beginning by Bryan Goebel.
Making it look easy.
Showing why he's won this tournament twice already and trying for back-to-back victories here.
Ricky Ward in his 10th appearance on national television on the PBA Tour. He's got 1 national title. This is what we expected. We expected this kind of scoring throughout the matches, but the lane condition for some reason wasn't conducive to that. The players struggled, especially Scott Alexander, Don Moser. Mark Williams had a couple of pretty good games, one very poor one, but it was still a winner. And you see Ricky Ward taking a re-rack on lane 15. Huge crowd here, Mike, and they're really excited about this. They're really into bowling in Tucson.
They certainly are. As a 35 consecutive years they've hosted a PBA event.
The only tournament that's longer on the PBA Tour, consecutive year-wise, is the Showboat Invitational in Las Vegas.
Through the nose, leaves the 2-4.
First real mistake he's made that I can recall, and not an easy spare. The 2-4 for the left-hander. He wants to go cross lane, use as much of the lane as he can. Use that oil in the middle of the lane to keep it from hook and throw it hard and straight.
And just as you said, Bryan Goebel now leading by 2 pins, getting up on the right lane. We see the trophy there. Top seed, as we see, 0-5 so far in 1996. Goebel trying to put an end of all that. Goebel is trying for 3 in a row here. We see other players that have won 3 times in the same bowling center. Mr. Anthony won the PBA National, what, in 74, 75, and 6, 81, 82, 83. Is that right, Earl?
That's right.
Then you won in Garden City 4 times. Roth won in Cleveland 4 times. You loved Waukegan. Oh, who's that guy there? And then Duke won in Cleveland 3 times.
Goebel on a 3-bagger, trying to make it 4.
And the solid 10. And as we went through that graphic there, it wasn't necessarily 1 in a row there, but they won 3 times in the same city. As we take a look at this solid 10.
Great shot, just not the good result he expected. And you see his reaction. It was one of anger and a little bit of disbelief. He made a great shot. He thought he should have got it. Cross lane at the spare. Careful.
And, oh, my goodness, boy.
I talked to him earlier about the 10-pin. He said he had trouble throughout the week. He missed 2 10-pins, which is unusual for someone of his caliber because of slipping when he shot cross lane, and he'd lose his balance, and evidently that affected his shot there.
So it's a 1-pin match. Second seed, boy. All the odds seem to be in Ricky Ward's favor, don't they? As he gets something to work on. And the LPBT Treasure Chest Classic tonight, 12:30 a.m. Stay up for that. Watch some good bowling tonight. This is good bowling, though, too.
Well, that was kind of derogatory, Mike. I mean, what brought that on?
I don't know. It just came in and came out. One of those things I wanted to go suck it back in, but it was gone.
Yeah, Ricky Ward with a 1-pin lead, a chance to make it 11 here on the left-hand lane. Give it some more room.
Will the 9-pin fall? No, it doesn't. So it stays a 1-pin match. Ward.
We keep waiting for him to say something. He's got that microphone on, and we're listening, but all we've got so far is a couple of grunts and an oomph. But he's trying hard. Ricky, we're a hard worker on the lanes, and very seldom will you see him miss a 1-pin spare.
As he has no trouble with the 9-pin. We're in the 5th frame right now. Bryan Goebel trailing by 1 pin in this match. He has 87 in the 4th. So a little repair work here. The players all have their little ditty bags that they carry around with them with tape and everything else in there. And he must have dropped that shot at the 10-pin, Earl. Decided he needed another piece of tape. Fifth frame. Well, it's set right in the pocket right there. Ricky Ward changing seats. And we see that the PBA moves over to ABC Saturday, March the 9th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We wish good luck to Chris and Bo. They've been doing that telecast, it seems like, for a lot of years, over 20 years. Our next ESPN telecast, March the 15th, 8 o'clock, the Greater Albany Senior Open. For the double to take the lead back. Gets the wall shot.
Well, Bryan Goebel, I said, Bryan, you know, you've always done so well bowling against the lefties and coming up. And he says, you know, I've only led one other tournament, but I won that one. So he says, I'm 1 for 1 from the #1 position. This is going to be 2 for 2.
Confident.
That's confident. So, remember, this is going to be Goebel pin lanes if he wins here.
Ricky Ward, lane 16. 6th frame. So we got 4 frames left as the crowd roars on right in our ear. And right now, Goebel leads by 9 pins, but Ward can change all that if he can double here in the 7th frame.
Watch how long this push away is. Nice and free and easy. Just lets it fall. Lets the ball do the work.
A solid 6.
Well, his last 3 shots on lane 15, he's been high on the head pin, gave it room for the wall shot, came back high on the head pin, made an adjustment off that for the 6 pin. So he keeps moving around on the lane, but not getting the result he wants. And he's going to run out of frames here if Goebel can catch a couple more strikes.
Bryan Goebel very good at taking advantage of opportune times in games. This seems like that type of situation right now.
He likes to bowl in these situations. He really likes, he enjoys the pressure situations. That's high. Look out.
Ooh, he breaks the split down, leaves only the 610. It seems like the ball on lane 16 before was hooking like that, but roll out at the pocket, and that one didn't. That one just
that one got
it.
around the side of more. He had more side rotation on it. And when you get more side rotation, the ball won't roll out. It'll continue down the lane farther because it's spinning, and then it'll grip the lane and continue to hook through the head pin. And I think that's a result of putting that extra tape in the thumb hole. Keeps his thumb in longer and makes him spin the ball.
Well, he missed 1 spare already this game, but not the second one. Hits both pins with the ball. So we move to the 8th frame. The different 7 pins. Bryan Goebel has them. Still anybody's match.
Yeah, advantage here would go to the player that can load up in the 9th frame at this point, because what's going to happen here is Bryan Goebel gets to finish first. So he's going to try to get the strike in the 8th, but Ricky Ward, if he can go 8-9, I think would have the advantage.
Gets the light hit. Fills the frame.
It's a great match here, huh?
Maintains the 7-pin lead. Ward looks up at the score. Waiting for him to say something into that microphone, but he's quiet as anything. Lined up.
This has been his good lane right here.
Still is.
And remember, that's the lane he finishes on, and that's why I say if he can strike in the 9th, the advantage goes to Ricky Ward because he finishes on his best lane, lane 16, the one he has struck on every time so far in this match.
We see they bowled twice in match play. Ward won one, Goebel the other. Right now, the difference 7 pins, 2 frames to go. Ricky Ward trails, but can take the lead if he strikes in the 9th frame.
It's the shot of the day right here for Ricky Ward.
Oh.
That's the lane that's done to him.
What about this?
What did he say there? Did you hear that?
Something about, I don't know about this lane or something. I couldn't catch it all.
Tough spare here. He's got to make it to stay in the match, Earl.
Yep, the bucket, the left-hander's bucket, the 3-5, 6-8.
6-9.
6-9, excuse me. The 8 would really make it tough.
Yes, it would. See, you're even thinking like a right-hander now.
Right.
I'll tell you what. Bryan Goebel working on a strike, leading by 7, can put this match away.
Strike here, and then any kind of a mark in the 10th would do the job. This would be the shot right here.
It's there. Well, he knew it.
He can handle the lefties, can't he? Huh?
That's not over yet.
Not over yet. You're right. Here's another look at that shot, and watch how far he gets it out on the lane. This is what you call protecting the shot, keeping it in play, making sure it doesn't hook early. And he did that. He got good rotation on the ball. His reaction, of course, was out of sight. He was down on his knees praying for that 7-pin to fall, and it did.
So a mark wins it for him?
A good count, mark. Yeah, that'll do it. Almost any count, and mark will do it. Stay clean. Ooh, gave it a lot of room. All right, here we are. Back to that 10-pin that he missed.
He missed it in the 4th frame on this lane.
Same lane. And believe me, he's remembering that right now.
So if he makes it, he's in the 220s. If he misses it, he finishes with 212, and Ricky could double in the 10th and win. He ran it out.
All right, stay behind the foul line, keep the ball in the lane. We got a winner. Ricky Ward gave it his best effort.
Bryan Goebel with a strike will finish with 224 in his 3rd Tucson Open championship. One happy man right there, Ricky Ward, just finishing out the string, but with class. Bryan Goebel receiving congratulations. Ricky had his chances in this match, Earl.
No question, and he made some good shots when he had to. Some of them didn't strike for him, and then he made in the 9th frame, which to me was the turning point in the match, the bucket. When he left that, he had to strike in the 9th to have any chance at all. Couldn't convert that, and it just didn't work out for him today. But Ricky Ward will be around a long time. He'll win some more tournaments.
There's the double he was working so hard for, but he just couldn't bowl them all on this lane.
Well, he's thrown 6 balls on the right-hand lane and struck on every one of them. His trouble came on lane 15.
Yep. So he can go 7 for 7 on the right lane, huh? 8 strikes in this match and lose. And leaves the 6-pin to finish with 217. $16,000. Congratulations from Pete Tauntas. Bryan Goebel, big smile on his face, happy with Tucson. He may move here. We'll have to ask him that when we talk to him. Nice looking young guy, isn't he?
He is, and he's a great champion. What a great, great finish to a wonderful tournament. It's been that kind of week all the way through.
224 to 217. Bryan Goebel performing the hat trick in Tucson, Arizona. We'll be back to talk to our winner, see his reaction to all of this. Stay tuned for that interview after these messages.
Weeknights on on the Discovery Channel. How hot do you like it? How wet can it be? Get extreme. Every weeknight, all week. Raw energy, explosive power, the force of nature as you've never seen it before. What happens when Mother Nature changes the view? Nature's Fury on Wild Discovery. Every weeknight at 8 Eastern and Pacific on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
Explore. A&E's biography is going Hollywood to unmask the lives of Hollywood's hottest stars. We'll reveal the truth, not the lies, about their box office fame and learn how they play the game. They're hot. Hollywood Hot Shots on Biography begins March 18th only on A&E.
Turn the world on with a smile. You can take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile. What's the girl and you should know it. Each glance and every little movement to show it. What's so round, no need to fake it. You can let it down, why don't you take it? You're gonna make it after all. You're gonna make it after all.
There's this college team I practice with to stay in shape. Each one is out to prove that they can hit the Ryan Express. I'm out to prove they can't. Right there. After a day of fastballs, it's Advil for me. Nothing has shown me that it works better or lasts longer than Advil.
For sore muscles, more doctors recommend Advil than any other pain reliever.
I love that sound.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Bryan Goebel, our champion here. Every year in Tucson, you seem to be doing it. You must be ready to move here.
Oh, I love it here. It's great. I really want to thank Pete Townis and his staff. They do a great job. Obviously, I love the way they work here. The scorekeepers all week were great. The staff and everybody, the fans were fantastic. I love them. I'd really like to thank Ebonite and the great equipment they've been using, and I can't wait to get back here next year. So.
Well, yeah, when you come back, Pete's already told us they're going to rename it Goebel Pin Lane.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind that too much. I was wondering if he was selling any stock, but he told me he wasn't.
Well, Earl, another three-time winner in several bowling centers, got a question or two for you.
I just want to know why you keep beating up on these left-handers.
You know, I don't mind, but I hope that kind of keeps happening. I don't mind. Actually, they're pretty tough. You know, if I had my pick, I don't think I'd ever pick one to bowl, but for some reason or another, I've won 3 times, and all 3 times here, it's been against left-handers. I don't know why, but...
Well, let me ask you another question very quickly, Brian. If we watched the other right-handers, Scott Alexander, a very talented player, Mark Williams, another very talented player, Don Moser, of course, they never could figure out this pair of lanes. What made it different for you? Why could you do what they couldn't do?
Well, I think part of the reason is... well, partly because of the equipment. Honestly, that ball just got down the lane a little smoother than some of the others and turned up nice. But the main reason was those guys got really deep, and I didn't have to play quite as deep as them, so I had a little better back ends than they did, and they were trying some pretty funky angles, it looked like. I tried to avoid it, but, you know, I would have liked to have struck a few more times and made my spares. But
10-pin, the 10-pin, that was the question right there. You left the 10-pin, you missed it early on in the match, came down to the 10th frame, you needed a mark to win, you left the 10-pin.
Yeah. Well, I made a pretty good shot. I made sure I wasn't going to go high. I made sure to get the ball way out on the lane, and I did, so the ball kind of hit a little bit weak. But I missed the first 10-pin. My thumb hole was a little loose, and my hand just kind of fell around the side of the ball, and so I just made sure after that shot I put a little tape in the ball, and I had a much better feel the rest of the game on the ball.
So you were confident going in that 10th frame? I mean, as you're out here, your demeanor seems to be one of a man with extreme confidence. I always wonder, are you that confident, and were you that confident shooting that 10-pin?
Well, I've managed to have the focus that I need. I keep my mind on what I'm doing, and I try not to let anything bother me no matter what I do, including missing single pin. But I know